Evening, everybody, and evening, Green Army and fellow football fans. Welcome to the Block 9 podcast. Well, yesterday we witnessed something truly special, something that encapsulates the very spirit of the FA Cup. Plymouth Argyle, the team at the bottom of the championship, we pulled off one of the greatest upsets in recent memory by defeating the Premier League leaders and arguably the best team in world football right now, Liverpool, 1-0 at Home Park. Come on, you Greens. So this wasn't just a win, though. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to resilience in the face of adversity. For months, we have had to weather storms of despair with the club's struggles on the pitch. But yesterday, all that changed. The victory breathed new life into the club, into the players, and into the heart of every Green Army member. From the moment Ryan Hardie slotted that penalty home to the final whistle, where goalkeeper Connor Hazard turned into a superhero with those two late saves. And this match was more than just about football, it was about believing in the impossible. The magic of the FA Cup, where any team on any given day can be a giant slayer. This win isn't just a moment in time. It's a catalyst for change, a reminder of what's possible when you stand united. But let's not lose sight of the real battle that lies ahead. The championship awaits and the fight to avoid relegation to keep us in this league. That is our number one priority, but we'll certainly enjoy this moment. So here's to the Greens, to the spirit of Home Park, to every fan who believes in this team. Let this victory fuel us. Let it remind us of our strength and our passion. We've shown the world what we can do. Now let's show them we're here to stay. So, like I said, here's to the magic of the FA Cup. But let's get this battle for survival sorted as well. And let's make history together. Come on, you Greens. There we go.
Wow.
So,
Wow. You didn't even take breath then, Mike.
no, and I got some ticker tape as well, if you saw that.
A very good Churchill speech that was.
Oh, dear.
That ticker tape reminds me of about 1986.
Yeah, exactly. So, Gavin, it was just what an emotional roller coaster, and yeah, boy, did we as the Green Army need that, and what an enjoyable game for all the other football fans out there to see us beat Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm still a bit green around the gills from a slight bit of over celebration after the game, despite my work day starting this morning very early.
I think there'll be a few like that.
Yeah, I think there's many across home park. It was an interesting day actually. There was a clear buzz, so I get into Diamond at about 11:15. There were more people outside Home Park at that time of day than I've ever seen. A few half and half scarf salesmen that weren't chased off, which is my own. And my brother bought 2 tickets tomorrow. I'm going to take further, but he's still there. And the hospitality was rammed to the rafters, as you can probably imagine. And I think everybody had a bit of a polite anticipation of, well, as long as we don't get a cricket score, we'll have a good day. Teams were announced, and everyone went, "Oh, hello." The bench looks pretty empty. And the starting lineup's not that great either, so we might have a chance. And I think we didn't really give them any respect from ball one, and that was testament to the way that the way that Miron set the team up, the way that it was led, I think, by Adam Randall, who's growing into his role, and the shape defensively was probably the best I've seen at Home Park ever, and that's like a few years now. So all in all, a great day. Obviously, the penalty and everything, I'm sure we'll get onto later. But I think the highlights for me were just the absolute rigidity and the way that we stuck about our task of that defensive shape. And as you know, I sit on the halfway line up in the stand. So you get to see that really well. And if you could imagine a bit of string, that back five was absolutely solid. The midfield in front, Bundu and Hardie, I thought were brilliant at chasing down and pressing up with Callum Wright, and it was a masterclass. We'll leave it like that, of out of possession. So they'll be studying that in universities, no doubt, in years to come.
Yeah, no, I think it's just I mean, it's been a great day, considering the months of suffering. To be fair, the last couple of games where we've done well, but we've seen signs, the new signings. I mean, Carl, it's just, I mean, I've got it to my left on my iPad here, we've got obviously the draw going on at 10 past. Thank you everybody that's joined us so far. We are trying and hoping that this is streaming to TikTok as well tonight. The first time, that's where we started off doing the pod, so fingers crossed they are getting that on TikTok as well. But yeah, Carl, we're all excited for this draw. Will it be another big team, big name, or will we get Exeter?
Well, they've got to beat Nottingham Forest first, haven't they?
Correct.
Funnier things have happened. I mean, if both Devon teams can get through to the 5th round, I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that could be some story if they beat Forest and we meet in the 5th round. That could be quite special. But I'm kind of torn at this position. Do we want another big Premier League tie, or do we want, say, like a kind of an easier one at home to get into the quarters? I mean, Cardiff at home could be a decent tie with a chance of getting through to the quarterfinals,
or a massive banana skin.
Or a massive banana skin, but ideally you want another big gun at home, City or United, or even Newcastle. I think Newcastle could be a good tie with their fans. It would be a great atmosphere, because yesterday the atmosphere from Liverpool's side was non-existent. So it was a good job that that we were actually on form for a change, and the ground was absolutely bouncing. It hasn't been like that for a long time.
No, I agree.
No, it's ball number 10 tonight. For those that don't know, your Manchester United's a ball number 1. Exeter and Forest are ball number 5. What else have we got? That's where's Newcastle 9, Man City 14, Aston Villa 12.
And what ball? What ball are Liverpool again?
They're not.
Oh no, they went out yesterday. That's it. Yeah, of course they did. So I've just been told it is working on TikTok.
It is working on TikTok.
Yeah, so that's good to be back on there. Do a lot of content on there, but to be fair, there's a lot of football fans on there, and it's some great engagement, and we always had a good time. When we were streaming our lives to that, so it's good to be back there. Marcus, they haven't come to the draw yet, but. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool were so quiet, Liverpool fans, weren't they, in that away end? Shockingly bad.
Well, I was listening to the spotlight earlier on. I know a lot of people keep saying it was their second team, but 3 of their players came to the 200 million. That's more than the whole of history of what Argo has spent on transfers. But every player they had was still quality. I think they haven't. Some people haven't shown us enough respect for our result.
Yeah,
it keeps saying it's the Liverpool second team or third team, which, to be honest with you, we bullied them. We actually could have scored more goals. I know Hazard had the last 10 minutes, but they didn't really have a chance in the 85th minute. And they 2 defenders made such a difference to that defence. It's incredible. Another thing we want to know: where was Sorinola for the whole of all under Rooney? Because he's been absolutely immense.
Yeah, no, he has. I posted about it earlier with an image of him on Pukac's shoulders. Just phenomenal. I mean, it's easy to pick on Katic and Maxi and Pukac and that, new coming in and flying off from the start. But, Sorinola keeping Mumba out. Just, he had Diaz in his pocket. I think actually that was a top pocket find for Sorinola. So we are getting... They're getting there now, ready to pit the balls in. I might be a few seconds.
What are we going to do? Are we going to pause to watch it, or
I think we'll just as they go to draw, I'll start reading the draws out. They're just going through some of the highlights.
I haven't got a TV near me, so I'm relying on you, Mike.
So. By the way, guys, get your comments in now, whichever platform we can see that you're on, whether it's YouTube, X, or TikTok. Put your comments in the usual place, and we'll read them out here. I appreciate some are keen to see this draw for understandable reasons. But yeah, we're just... It just for us, I think, the FA Cup can disrupt your league performance, and when we're in a fight to survive, that is always the concern. But yesterday, I felt you're not going to get any player that's going to go out there yesterday against Liverpool and not want to have a go in that game. And Muslix was rightly so to set them up. So, we're just... Go on. Oh, I see. Someone got it on the background?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I thought I could hear some feedback. Come on, boys. Let's get it in there now. Let's find out who we're going to... first ball up. There you go. I'm going to take a punt.
I just hope it's not Burnley away.
To be fair, I mean, it can be whoever, but it could be a great away trip. We'd have to definitely do a Block 9 away game for that one. So they haven't picked the balls in yet, so we'll just wait for
really?
for that to. Well, not on
Yeah.
my
Ten
screen. They're
past.
still going
They
through
do
some
waffle on
highlights.
a bit, don't they?
Yeah. So
Only 16 balls.
yeah, I think. I mean, just while we're waiting, we'll carry on talking. I think I sort of was going to bring this up later, but while we're waiting for this draw, and then before we get into that result in the game, I think Simon Hallett and Andrew Parkinson, need to take a bit of credit here for this appointment. There was a lot of question marks after the appointment. Obviously, the initial games and the defeats, to QPR and Burnley, it wasn't good. We had to be patient for him to get his own backroom staff in, see what players he was going to be looking to bring in. And it's just started to now gel really, really well. And
I think the fans forum is going to be a little bit easier for them on next week.
Than it was before. It just goes to show, doesn't it, how long a week is in football?
Yeah, it is, and patience. Look, we absolutely have to call. I hate to use the word call them out. We definitely have to bring it up when the appointments have gone wrong and some of the decisions, obviously, that we've had recently. But you have to absolutely then give credit where credit is then due. Because I think we're on to something really special here. There's everything about Miron that just oozes calm, class. He knows what he's going to say. There's no stuttering. He really does deliver it. And that dressing room speech, which we've got clips of the goals, the highlights, his speech. Right, balls are going in. Go. So, right, give them a good rummage. Come on, the tense. I should have had a little background sound effect to add while we're waiting.
It's mental just seeing 16 teams left and we're one of them.
I know.
Ball number 4, Preston at home.
We don't want this, do we?
No.
We don't want this.
Well, we could go up and beat Gibbo.
13, and they are playing Burnley.
Good. So, that's all right. That's 2 crap sides out the way. Yeah. Lovely.
Ball number 12, which is Aston Villa.
I wouldn't mind this.
We'll be away to Villa. Number 10.
Away to Villa.
Number 16, Cardiff. So Aston Villa playing Cardiff.
We've got a third of them. So
here we go, boys.
There's only 4 championship sides left in, I think, one there. So we're the only ones left.
Come on.
So Doncaster or Crystal Palace.
No. Away to Palace would be nice.
Number 2, they play Millwall. Good. Okay, come on.
Mostly Premier League teams left.
Well, I think we're the only Premier League, or the only Championship side left.
Yeah.
Come on, boys.
Come on, boys.
Number 1, Manchester United.
Come on.
Number 10. Come on.
Oh, they've got Fulham. So it's not Manchester United, folks.
Yeah, Man City away. That'll do.
Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle.
Oh, that's a joy.
It's a long road.
Fan who also congratulated us on X yesterday.
They're
playing Brighton.
Oh,
that's right.
City, come on, City.
Hey, if it's Ipswich, that'll be my dad's family, side of family. Oh, we got Bournemouth. So it's Bournemouth home in this one. Come on.
That's only 2 hours. It's only 10,000 seats.
Wolves. So, this is
Man
getting
City.
close.
Come on.
It's going to be Exeter or Forest, isn't it? Oh, Man City.
Away to Man City. Here we go. Number 10. 1 in 3, isn't it?
Come on.
Yes!
Man City. It's an away tie, but it's Man City, which is probably a good draw with the way that they've been playing.
Well, we'll go up there and beat them, and we'll net about 1.2 million quid in cash as well. It's not a bad day. David Gray
Jesus Christ.
Simon Hallett are both rubbing their hands with glee.
The wrong side of Manchester, but
I can't wait to see Erling Haaland and Maxi together.
I tell you what, I think the way, like I just said, that Man City have been up and down, I think that is a pretty good tie. It's a shame it's not at home. Are these a Saturday? Is there likely to be a midweek?
No, there'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think.
Right, fine, yeah, because the last thing we want is a long trip, unless we're playing away around that time somewhere close. So, yeah, just to summarise, people, Preston will play Burnley. Aston Villa, Cardiff City, Doncaster or Crystal Palace will face Millwall, Manchester United will face Fulham, Newcastle United will face Brighton Hove Albion, Bournemouth, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Oh, and I've lost the rest. They cut the screen off. That's nice. But yeah, I can see Philippe in the background there is happy with that result.
Man City away.
What's the allocation at City, do we reckon?
Oh, it'll be massive. They don't fill their own stadium on
I
a
know
European
that,
night.
yeah.
we can have 30,000 probably.
Oh my lord!
It's a long. So we need to check our diaries, gents. But I'm definitely up for that.
Definitely.
We'll have to see. That might have to be a stay over or something. It's a good 6 hour slog.
5 hours in the car, just up the M5. Stop. Job done.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. I've done it a few times with supplies up there. It's not too bad, but yeah.
You driving, Gavin?
Yeah, well, I will do, but I'll bring my earplugs this time, don't I?
Yeah, well, Carl and Marcus and Andy, whoever's going to come with us, are worse than me in the car.
We need a Block 9 minibus.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Well, yeah, maybe I could get Chris to sponsor it, driving up with the range.
Well, if that's the case, he can take us up in the roller. Did you see that clip I sent you guys the other day on the WhatsApp group? Actually, talking aloud about the guys in the 80s that hired the Rolls Royce for the weekend. That was quite interesting.
Oh, I did see the clip on it. Yeah, there you go. We can maybe get a little feature going on there. So, oh wow. So quiet in the chat. So come on, guys, get your comments in. What do you think? Man City away. At the moment, like I said, Marcus, I think with their sort of hit and miss form, that's probably not a bad time to play him, is it?
To be honest with you, that's winnable. That is winnable.
Marcus, you're sat there
I
like,
love that.
you're looking really like I'm really pissed off with this draw.
That's winnable.
And he goes straight into it, yeah.
I'll only be happy when we're in the final.
I love that. Yeah.
The expectation levels have increased from the Green Army.
Yeah,
That's the
That's
whole game cancelled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. There we go. It's at least now we know. So that's a good thing. Well,
the countdown is on. We've got a matter of a few league points to pick up between now and then, gentlemen. Let's not get too carried away.
Well, speaking of which, it's a good motivator, isn't it? I think one of the things with that result yesterday and the new players coming in, as we'll pick back up on that performance, but is that now everybody knows more than ever they've got to fight for their space or their spot, I should say. So Mumba, 2 games on the bounce now where he's not being used, whereas prior to that he would have been and was when with Whittaker leaving, Argyle's played most minutes this season. So to sort of see that happen, it's like, well, okay, will he start on Wednesday? Sorinola obviously had cramp at the end, but when he comes in, he's really got to make his statement, isn't he?
I think it'll make him play. Sorry, go on, bud.
Trouble is, you can't really drop Sorinola.
No, but if he's tight because of the cramp or whatever, this is the issue with the games, isn't it? But when he gets a chance, he's just got to take it, Marcus, though, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think probably Houghton wasn't picked. I think he's kept back for Wednesday.
Yeah, just possibly. I mean, speaking of the squad, obviously we were wondering when we did our last pod whether or not he would go out with a strong lineup, because obviously the league situation and all that sort of side of things that you would expect. But that was a pretty strong lineup, wasn't it?
Very strong. It was a team basically going for victory.
Yeah.
So that was no thought about Wednesday or anything. Get rid of this game, then concentrate on Wednesday.
Who was left out from the game previous? Houghton?
Houghton was, and hang on, lost my screen.
Is that it? Houghton
That's
for
it,
JB.
isn't it?
It was just Houghton for JB, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
And I have to say, I know we had like all the centre halves and the back three took the plaudits, and so did Hazard, and obviously Hardie for the penalty. But I thought there's 2 players yesterday that probably had some of their best games for the club, which went unnoticed because everything else that went on. One was Bundu, who I thought was outstanding up front, getting the flick-ons, little flicks around the corner, never lost the ball in possession, was really strong. Considering he's not a target man number 9, I thought he did exceptionally well. And he's growing into that role week on week, in my opinion, which is why I think now we've got 4 strikers. And the other one is a bit unfashionable and probably an unpopular opinion, but I thought Darko JB probably had his best game for the club.
Yeah, 100%. I said at kickoff, Gavin, to the guys next to me that JB really does need to sort of come into his own in this game, and I thought he had one of his best games in a long time.
I think because our shape is now so much more rigid, people aren't flying out. There's no holes, but I can't remember one time yesterday. I've not watched the whole game back where we were cut open in midfield. And they went right through us. And it happened 2 or 3 times against West Brom, and we got away with it. Yeah. It happened a couple of times up at Sunderland, and we got away with it. It happened 5,000 times at home in the first half to Burnley. But yesterday, with that calibre of midfield, which is going to be much better than probably we'll play against in the Champ, I can't remember once we were cut open. So, to continue that, I thought Rando had a very good game too. But when Boateng came on, and I know we said this off air pre-hands, Boateng and JB both firing looked like a real force to get the ball up the pitch and win tackles. And they're so, apart from having different name shirts on, I couldn't tell the difference between the two. I thought they were both excellent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think for me, Carl, I was actually just going to say, those that are on TikTok, for some reason, we're not getting stuff come through on the chat. So if people are putting their comments in, which they normally do, I can't see them. So it could just be a glitch. But Carl, I can't do it under my own account. So if you're able to just check and see what is being said, and then we can read some of those out, would be good. Yeah, so I think just sort of switching to the Liverpool lineup, quickly, Gavin, as well. I mean, yes, look, it are 9 changes, and you beat our 3rd team, and all this rubbish. Look, at the end of the day, that team, Marcus, you sort of said it. I think 3 of their players were worth how much did you say?
200 million.
Yeah, so it's just that's just crazy in its own right. But obviously you had, Gomez start, obviously Elliott started, Jota, Diaz, a few others in there that, sort of I don't really follow the players like that. So, but it's like there's still some good players in there. But I felt when I made my post assumption Sunday morning that I just, coming in with 9 changes, it's not ideal because it disrupts. If they all haven't played together, then there's always that adjustment to happen, which takes time to settle in. But, I mean, Carl, the most impressive thing is we were so well organised again. We kept our lines, we kept our shape, we didn't panic, and we pressed and pressed. And the amount of times we forced Liverpool to go back towards their goal because they just couldn't find an outlet was really impressive. I think we really did see in that game yesterday exactly what Miron Muslach wants to play. Like.
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, Maxi and Katic are getting all the praise, but the whole kind of back 6 in a way, including Hazard, were absolutely incredible. I mean, Sorinola, I've never seen a player go up and down the pitch as much as him yesterday. I mean, he went from defence to attack in a matter of seconds, and he's geeing up the fans non-stop. He's just another Joe Edwards, isn't he? He just bleeds green. He wants to be part of the football club. And he's just gone on from strength to strength, especially since Muslach come in. And Pukac again, another excellent performance, strong. Some of the balls he put in were excellent, but the whole back line have been absolutely brilliant. So if we can keep the back door shut, we've got every chance of picking up a lot of points over the next few weeks.
I didn't say this earlier in the chat, but Tommy Tynan came over when we were in hospitality. He was doing the rounds.
Yeah,
and then he stopped with us for about 5 minutes. And he said, I'd love to have played with that boy on the left wing back. He said, I'd have got another 20 goals a season. He said, because he just puts on a plate for you every week, doesn't he? Now, if you're not going to get praise from probably one of the club's biggest ever scorers, it's not going to get any better than that, quite frankly.
No.
The one thing I will say as well is Sorinola, the block in the second half, I can't remember what the shot was, where he's come from the back post, read the play, slid in. I know there was one behind him as well, and it seemed like that all game. But absolutely, defensive timing was outstanding because if he misses that by a fraction of a second, it's a pen and it's up.
Is he out of contract in the summer?
Good question. I don't know.
He must. I would have thought he must be, but I think he's playing to earn another contract. He's definitely deserved it.
Oh, yeah, I think we need to get him in pretty quick.
Same with Pleggy. I think his deal's running out at the end
People
of the
will be
season as well.
happily looking to get their signature in the
Definitely.
summer, one would imagine.
Yeah, I think no, absolutely. It's I mean, I'm just looking at the FOP mob on my screen now. I mean, the only player that actually in that starting 11 that failed to get above 7 was Bundu.
Wow.
But I think because we were just controlling so many things from that midfield and that back line. I mean, Callum Wright again for me was really impressive. I know it was his childhood club. He's a Scouser, and all that jazz. But I just thought he was brilliant, and he had that wonderful ball. We got the highlights. I'll play it in a second, and we'll talk it through. Played that wonderful ball through to Hardie. I felt Hardie should have just struck it straight away. He obviously took that touch and hit the defender, but then he had that beautiful chance in the second half that I think the defender got to the ball after a great strike and a great run as well. So he was finding some good space, confidence, down that wing, and I think that's. Marcus, that's what we're seeing now, isn't it? You've had the likes of Pukac and then Katic and Maxi come in immediately, in their first 2 games, signing on a Friday, starting on the Saturday. They're just the sort of energy that they bring, the desire. They come into training an hour early, don't they? It's just they're setting new standards.
The first day Maxi came in on that Friday, the first thing he had, can he have 3 videos of the West Brom's last performances to take home to study? That shows the character of the bloke.
Mm.
With Rooney, they've been swanning off to the pub.
Yeah. Well, I mean, examples. You lead by example, don't you? At the end of the day, and I think we've gone from Rooney swanning off to the pub to Muslich going off at nachos and a Fanta. I mean,
bit of a contrast.
What more can you say? But I think
Joe Edwards has just tweeted, "We have to beat the best to win it."
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you are.
Yeah, well, it's still Man United.
Still Man United.
Don't worry about that. No problems.
Quarterfinals.
No, exactly. I mean, Carl, sort of, I'm just staring at all the players on there, just in awe. But looking at it, sort of Hardie playing out in that wider right sort of position.
Yeah,
I did feel that in the first half he wasn't winning much, but I think as there wasn't much sort of ideal balls going to him. But he runs around, he chases down players like Wright. I mean, they were just on them. Bundu equally, with his strength. It's just, I know we can sing praises forever, and we will tonight. But it's just there was just some really good stuff, and you sat there thinking. Yeah, teams can turn this on just for an FA Cup clash, but we saw signs of this in the last 2 games, and West Brom especially.
Especially the West Brom game, yeah.
Yeah,
but like I said after the West Brom game, I think that could be his new preferred position, because the game he had against West Brom was brilliant down on that side. Yeah. And I think with the correct balls played into the channels, that could be our Whittaker replacement. I think that really suits him down that side. And Bundu's been pretty steady and solid down the middle, so. Yeah, I think that's our front 3 going forward to the end of the season. Callum Wright, again, you can't really drop him. He's been playing really, really well.
Again, who would have said that?
Exactly.
12 weeks ago. He was walking his dog on the hoe, wouldn't he? Under
I mean, how times have changed since his red at Coventry. We all thought, that's the end of Callum Wright. Silly red card. He's done it on purpose. Blah blah blah. But he's come back. He's looked strong. He's looked like he wants to be here again. He's playing with heart, passion, and that's all you can ask for.
It's amazing the mindset change. That Muslich has had in this squad. And I've seen a couple of tweets in the last sort of week or two saying, "Oh yeah, it's all right, but Rooney didn't get this, and Rooney didn't get that, and Rooney didn't get the other." But actually, if you look, Rooney could have had his own coaching team to the hilt if he wanted it. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. But all Muslich has done is come in. He's obviously had lots of one-to-ones with players, and he's changed their mindset from being. The minute we concede, we fold like a sandcastle at high tide. To having a real belief that we're going to be impenetrable, we're going to win, we're going to work hard, and we're going to be absolutely, to use Merrin's words, to play against. What's the difference, from sitting those players down 3 months ago, 4 months ago, where we were getting battered every other week, cricket scores against us, to now, yes, we've had some new personnel. I get all that, but just the mindset change. Like Obafemi, I suppose, would probably for me be the one that springs to mind the hardest, of someone who was cast aside by Mirren when he first came in, was by all accounts here, there, and everywhere evenings doing things he shouldn't have been. To now, the model pro coming on and working his backside off on Saturday, and having a real team spirit. I didn't see anybody there on Saturday that didn't have the full. That were on the bench that didn't have the full celebration of the squad and sitting there having a bit of a sulk because they weren't part of the team that entered the pitch. So the team spirit must be great, huh?
Yeah, I think Carl, it's what it goes back to that point, doesn't it? I made where if you now want to get into this squad, you've really got to work at it, and sort of Music won't sort of change it up too much if he doesn't need to. He'll be smart with that, but that you absolutely are clear on what he's setting out, and if you can't step up to it, then you might as well just
You're out.
You look at your next club.
I mean, look what happened with Whittaker. His head wasn't in the game, and that was the end of him. And I think the rest of the squad that we've got here at the moment are all fully behind Music. They want to be here. They want to fight and keep this club up. And every single one of them, deserves to be here. I still want to see Beidou come into the team as well at some point, and he's got to be showing some of the worth we paid the money for him, which I'm sure he will. But he's going to find it hard to get in on current form with the other guys starting at the moment. So it's going to be interesting a few weeks. I can't wait for Wednesday.
He might be better with it. Bader might be better with the pre-season behind him.
Because
he's playing catch up, isn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't doing much before that, was he? Because of waiting to come in. I think Marcus was going to come to you next on an interesting point. I think sort of people were bemoaning the fact of letting Gibson go. Obviously, I think there was a lot of people that in the end with Whittaker weren't too, regardless of the Burnley incident, sort of were probably not overly surprised to see him go. We were all prepared to expect it, but also he still didn't do a huge amount in this first half of the season, and yet so we were sort of stressing over, who are we going to replace Gibson with, our best defender, and then we've got two that have just come in and just changed that view big time.
Well, both to be honest with you, both of them are are levels above Gibson completely, because I also think there's probably four of them at the time, including Obafemi, Sissoko, Whittaker, and Gibson, were causing a bit of toxicity in the dressing room. And I think
that's another point.
And I think three of them are gone, and Obafemi's whipped into shape.
Yeah, I think we never really know what goes on in the dressing room, but that was another point that crossed my mind is, if there was toxicity there, Marcus, we're definitely not seeing that now, and we're seeing probably a team. I mean, even the image that I had in my background just now, and I thought I actually put it up as its own image, but there you go, change it now. In that dressing room shot, I mean, that togetherness, the celebrations, like from Maxi, which are going to start turning into memes. We might do something with that, but it's just like they pattern. Everybody's going up, whether it's a big tackle or whatever. They're just going up and saying well done to each other, and they're just prepared to put their bodies on the line now for each other in the games. That was clear.
All their teeth.
Yeah. Well, that
all
perhaps,
their teeth.
all that, yeah. So,
do you know what? It's interesting. I think the start of all that was Victor Pelson.
Yeah.
If you think when we were in the doldrums, he was the one talking, patting people on. When he come back in the side, every time a block was made, he was over patting on the back. When Hardie scored at Sunderland, he was the one who pulled the whole squad in and said, "Come on, let's celebrate as a one." So I think he's been, I wouldn't say he's the catalyst. I think it's probably come from the culture and changing room, but he was certainly the first one to raise his head above the parapet and really understand the importance of that togetherness.
Yeah, Gavin, I think that's such a good point because, when people a few people, like when he was brought on as a sub, were a bit like, "Oh God, really?" And I'm like, sort of I mean, what you on about? I mean, he's done exactly that. He's led that, you know, and I think that's just then filtered across the team. So you know that's helped a lot. I thought what was also interesting, actually, Carl, is when Randall came off, he gave the captain's armband straight to Katic.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
Carl's got his head in something, or he's
No,
frozen. He's frozen. So you can be Carl for 2 minutes then, Gavin.
He's obviously a born leader, right? If anything you read from the guys up in Rangers, they were devastated when he was on the market to come back.
Yeah.
He's a bit older, isn't he, than Maxi? He's got a lot more experience. He's clearly a leader on the pitch. But I think the standards that both those guys and Pusac have set in terms of training and you, as you said, turning up early, leaving late, extra work on the pitch, extra work in the gym. They're dragging this club, which has had, not going to bemoan any of previous managers, but if you look at the work ethic, it wasn't there under Rooney, that's for certain.
Yeah.
Was it there under Schumacher? I don't know. I think we did okay, but I don't think it was like we didn't have the stats of being the hardest working club in Europe like they have, like Circa Bruges had.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there under Rhino either. So I suppose in a funny kind of way, it probably was a little bit there under Foster because he was disciplinarian and he wanted everybody to. But they kicked back at that, didn't they? Like a bunch of feral school kids saying no, thank you, and that was the end of it. So now I would say that the professionalism is back, and having someone like Katic, if we can, although 10 million quid was banded around as a number.
Christ.
I mean, if Simon, if you're watching, if those new investors can come in, if that can be their first purchase, that'd be fantastic. But it'd be nice to walk around going, I'm the same money as we're spending at Folkestone Park. Interesting. But if we could sign him, it'd be fantastic because I think he would get the armband next season because he's clearly a leader.
Yeah, he's 28. Just looked at his age on there. Yeah, Maxine's 24, and Carl's daughter just unplugged his PC, or his Mac. Sorry.
I wasn't laughing when she did it.
No, you gotta love kids. Right, let's get into some of the videos. So I'm going to go to the highlights reel first, and then what we do for those that have joined us tonight, welcome. If it's your first time, we always pull up some of the highlight videos and some of the post-match etc. Interviews, just so that we can bring you some more engaging content. That's what we like to do. So let's get on and we'll start talking through this. So it's a 5-minute highlight reel, care of ITV Sport.
Rooted to the bottom of the championship, the worst goal difference, the worst attack, the worst defence in that league. They've changed their manager. They've won just one FA Cup tie against a top-flight side in 41 years. Their opponents might be much changed today.
Everybody writing us off for those reasons.
Oh, Liverpool.
Clearly didn't watch the last 2 games.
Here's Callum Wright.
So this is the ball from Wright.
To Hardie early on. Blocked by Gomez.
Well, the flick on from Bundy as well was
keeps it in on this near side.
We'll see the
against a top-flight side in 41 years. Their opponents might be much changed today.
For going back and forth, but
their opponents.
It's a good spot that, Gavin.
Oh, Liverpool.
That build-up to that chance was great.
And here's Callum Wright. Looking to send the ball forward to Hardie early on.
That's
Gomez.
Just too much.
Keeps it in on this near side.
That has been a bit of a story for us sometimes. We've almost tried to do too much or overthink it when we've had an opportunity at goal. Who catch causing problems? This is JB.
He's got back and did his work to help out. Needed to.
Corner.
Down into the channel on a chance. Maybe should just get his shot away a little bit quicker.
Bundu with a flick on. Simicast has missed it. Bundu's still going here.
So this is where
unfortunately, he goes down, looks at the referee. Sam Barrett says no penalty.
The whole ground thought it was at the time.
Would you have that as a penalty, Gavin?
Soft, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's soft.
I've seen
Put your green spectacles on all day long. It's a pen, stone wall, but it's soft. Isn't it? If you were given that, you'd be thinking, oh my God. I'd say the other one though was like a volleyball spike, so you can't argue that.
This is the penalty. Oh, Marcus, clear as day, eh? Clear as day.
JB tried to hook it over his head,
Even
and the referee
Slot said it was, so
yeah.
that was more clear than the ref 1-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was a volleyball spike, wasn't it, at best?
As soon as you put your hands in that,
You don't need your arms up there. You don't need VAR for that one, do you? Let's be candid.
Ryan Hardie has taken 9 penalties for Plymouth. He's only ever
Here we
missed
go.
one.
The pressure after missing the Chelsea penalty.
Premier League team 3
And he
years
took
ago.
this superb.
He's not missing today.
There we go.
Is it me, or has most of his recent penalties been down the left side?
Yeah.
I'm surprised no
That
goals
middle,
left
just
because
off
of
centre.
that. The last 2 have, yeah. The last 3, actually, they've all gone. And they've all been at the Devonport.
Yeah, and the keeper's always dived to the right.
Yeah, every time.
And also, I think his what you call it? His son was mascot as well.
Yeah.
This was a brilliant, incredible
what a save.
opportunity that. Yeah.
What a save.
Keeper just gets his foot to it.
I think Kelleher pushes this onto the post with his foot.
Strange
That was
that video.
VAR, his hand would have been off.
So just to point that out, that's Katic going for the header. So
Yep.
we've got a new defender, another tall defender. Suddenly, the difference that brings us when they, get forward and get
Yep.
involved in the game. Set pieces as well. Not only have we got strength and height to defend against, we've also got strength and height to attack it with as well. So,
Am I right in thinking that VAR will be in play in the 5th round at City?
Yeah.
That'll be our first experience of VAR as well, won't it?
Stevie Vaughan's joined us tonight now. Evening, Steve.
What a block from Sorinola at
Evening.
the right time.
This
Happy?
tackle by Sorinola. This is
Amazing.
like throwing your body at it. This is exactly what this is. Look at that.
Really good one.
Incredible.
Diaz.
Oh.
He almost thinks he's got a tap in.
Just
McConnell.
superb.
Darwin Nunez.
Can't get tired of watching these highlights, Steve.
He thought
No.
it should have been a corner.
No.
The assistant and the referee both say no.
Just peeled off into that little bit of space, didn't he?
Yeah, there was some. Definitely gave us, sort of in that last 10 minutes, including the added time, gave us a few little nervous moments.
By the way, 9 minutes. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I know. Just that felt like the when they were doing the whole every little referee blow a whistle was going to lead to an added on time, and we were getting up to 10 plus minutes. There we go. Look at that. So this is it. This was picked up on the socials with Katic and Hazard having a go at each other because Hazard wanted to actually take the ball.
Yeah.
McConnell just.
But you love that, at the end of the day, they're both wanting to make sure they make the right decisions.
The ITV of them both afterwards on the interview was class.
Yeah, it was.
So when I first come here, I hated him because I'm Rangers and he's Celtic. And I thought that's probably what they were arguing about on the pitch.
Carl, sort of big advocate of Hazard, aren't we? But that was a brilliant, full
absolutely
save.
brilliant. And again, I don't want to hate on Grimshaw, but there's no way he's getting to either of those.
He ain't got the height. It's just a
No,
physics
not
thing.
for that.
Not ability. It's just a physics thing. He ain't getting it.
So just to add, it was at this free kick point, which I'll just pause. So you guys know, but I don't generally bet, and I'm not condoning betting. If you do, bet responsibly, of course. But because I won a bet against the Sunderland game on the draw, coming back 2-2, and I had some credit from that. That was, I think, a £5 bet. I won 50 quid. So I did pit 2 bets on. One was for us to win outright, and one was for us to win 1-0, which is what I pit on my predictive tweet. So I bottled it when we went 1-up and did the result and cashed out from £10 bet to 59 quid because I was like, I'm happy with that. And I let the 1-0 result bet go on right until this moment, and I lost my bottle, and I cashed out. Cashed out on £154 for a £5 bet, where the reward would have been £170. So,
sorry, 20 quid.
I thought I'll do it, and nearly, obviously, they got an equaliser. But what a superb save this is!
Unbelievable. Yeah, because it's point blank, isn't it, as well? So he literally just instinctively hand up, push it over the bar.
Yeah,
incredible. What I liked was the second one where the keeper just dollies it as a header back into his arms. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Job done. He should have gone for goal there. He's missed out an opportunity. If he wellies that, he could have scored.
Yeah.
So looking online tonight, the allocation is likely to be about 8k.
Oh, well done, Carl. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I reckon most season ticket holders are probably going to snap up those tickets, aren't they? So it's when you get to Evergreen.
Yeah, it's a long slog, so some will be considering that. But yeah, I've never been to the Etihad, so I've done Old Trafford a couple of times, but yeah, never the Etihad. So that'll be a good one going up there as an Argyle fan. If I can get tickets, I'll try, as I'm sure we all will. So Steve, who sort of has watched our live shows, for a while now, even when we're on TikTok, and then coming over to here, then joined us in our WhatsApp group, and he's with us tonight as well on his first live. So, evening, Steve. Just finished work. So, how are you feeling, Steve? Have you come down from the high yet, or are you still right up there?
I'm still right up there. It's a dream come true.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. What more can you say?
What a draw! What a draw!
Yeah, it's class.
Yeah. What did you think of the Man City draw?
Exciting. I went to the old main road. I've seen Argo in the late 80s, early 90s up there.
Yeah.
I think the days when Imran Hardie were playing for Man City. Is it Paul Simpson and all that?
Wow. Right. Okay. I had no idea. So
Yeah.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. It was under Dave Smith as manager.
Yeah.
The first season in the old Division 2.
Division 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna. Well, I mean, Marcus said after the draw, he said, "Well, clearly we're going to go on and win it now." So it's it's a great tie. It's a great tie. Watching those highlights back as well. I mean, I was quite annoyed actually. Got home last night. I had to take my mum back to Saltash because she was over, which is something we do every Sunday as a family, roast and stuff. And I thought, there'll be some highlights on Match of the Day, nothing on BBC One. And I thought, there'll be highlights then on ITV, nothing on ITV. And I thought, that is so typical. I mean, I know we've got huge
the day
press,
we beat Liverpool, yeah.
But it's just so typical, that, Gav, isn't it, to suddenly not find any highlights on an evening slot.
Yeah. But I would say the Associated Press have made up for it since, because I don't think that Joe Bell from Argyle Live's been on about 20 different things. Miron, I think, did 4 or 5 interviews in the morning, despite saying yesterday, when we're in tomorrow, it's all about Millwall. And then I think he spent half the morning on his laptop or being interviewed in the dugout for some media association or other. I suppose that comes with the territory, innit? When you beat a big team like that, and we're a perceived minnow, that the frenzy around it sort of happens for a day or so.
Yeah, I mean, I had a few contacts in the trade sort of message me, saying what a result. Jumped on a few Teams calls with some of our retail guys, and there was a few Liverpool fans up the line that I was able to wind up while we're trying to have a serious conversation about the home base project. Couldn't resist. So yeah, it's great to just sort of have that buzz, and I think, above all else, the fact that we played well, I think people clearly were expecting a drubbing because of what they'd heard and seen before. I think they totally underestimated it with the last 2 games against Sunderland and West Brom, Carl. So I think that's for me where we didn't just win it by luck or fluke. We actually completely nullified Liverpool, like I said, until that last 10 minutes. But really showed. And if you're sort of Millwall on Wednesday or anybody else in this league, you're going to be thinking, okay, that's going to be interesting when they go down there, because we're just going to be so hyped.
Oh, God, yeah. And even looking at the Man City team they put out against, was it Leyton Orient they played in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went strong. So I'd
imagine they went 1-0
1-0
down, I think, didn't they? Didn't Leyton Orient score first?
They did, yeah, early on, I think. But yeah, they went pretty strong against League Two. So I'm sure they're going to go not fully strength, but they're going to be.
Well, they aren't winning the league, are they? So they've got to. We've got to. They've got to win something this year, or else Pep will get the sack.
Well, exactly. I know they've got the Champions League. They'll give a good go again, won't they? But I just honestly can't wait for this game.
I'm just going to come to a couple more clips. This was it's not the best quality, although I'm recording on my iPhone. But this is exactly where I sit at the block line. Hardie's penalty. It just, to be fair, the camera stabilisation did a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was a few rows down from there.
Were you?
In block 9, I was in queue.
Yeah, nice. No X for me, but
Did you hear in the presser afterwards? Hardie's half opened up his gash again by knee sliding.
Oh God, yeah, that's a good point. No, I didn't know that.
He said it afterwards. I think it was on the Argyle Live one. He said, "Oh, I'm going to get told off by the medical team because on my knee slide, I've slightly opened my gash again. I'll have to get a plaster back on it." Well done, Ryan.
God. Well, I tell you what. Let's we will touch up on Millwall on Wednesday. Of course, we got to play this because the PR at the moment, like you said, Gavin, he was on every sort of radio, TV, whatever. So whoever's in charge of the PR would have definitely have had a busy night and fair dues last night. It's getting that brand and exposure out there. Don't forget, we are still wanting to finalise this investment, and that would have helped
Guys, just give me,
so much.
Just give me 45 seconds.
So,
we spoke
here we go.
a lot before. We spoke a lot during this game. Okay? Remember one thing. This day belongs to you. Okay? We left a new chapter in Argyle history, and no one will ever take this away from us. So we are now part of this history. And we left our fingerprints, our names, our passion, our attitude, our heart over there. Nobody will take this. Mouse again, okay? And no one can take this. This will stay forever. So enjoy this day, enjoy this night, and make sure we do everything possible to continue this journey on Wednesday. We have to go again, and we have to go again fully. And if we can show again our structure, our organization, if we can fill it with intensity, with a heart, we are competitive against any team in this world. Enjoy today, and we go from tomorrow on again fully together.
I have to just call him out, right? Sorry, Miron. You said 45 seconds, which I thought was quite a precise thing to say, rather than, guys, just give me a minute. Well, that was a minute. I'm just saying. So that is just.
It's a really weird thing to say. Just give me 45 seconds. Well, just give me a minute before we get that. That's what it would have taken anyway.
I know. It was.
He needs a better stopwatch.
Yeah, just brilliant. But PAFC displays. Obviously, we had Nick on the other night as well.
Yeah, class. Really good.
Nick, he couldn't come on tonight because he was busy. But obviously, a huge amount of work and everybody that helped them out getting all that ready as well. Shout out to you all. I took this from an English groundhopper in East Flanders on X because I thought, what an angle and a photo with the teams lining up and all the plastic and the flags being waved. We did have 10, or Nick reported that 10 flags did go missing. Remember, guys, this is all funded by them or with the club to do this. So taking the flags away, you just needed to leave them or pass them to the bottom. If any of you did take those flags, one of those 10, please return it. That would be good. So they get reused again for next time. But yeah, just such a beautiful photo, I have to say. Really, really nice photos. So let me go back to our group shot. So that's it for the clips. Millwall then on Wednesday, and as Miron said, got to get back to what really matters now. Enjoy the moment, and we will do for a long time. Thank you. So yeah, what are we thinking for that game? And I'm going to go to you first, Steve, on that one.
Well, he rested Houghton for a reason, I think. Bear in mind of the Millwall game. I'm thinking he could even start with Houghton and Boateng in midfield.
Yeah. Actually, Steve, Boateng, in fairness, we touched upon him very briefly, I think I did at the start. But he's another physical looking dude, isn't he? And and he for the spell that he had, I thought he was really impressive.
No one's going to want to play us at the moment as well because we're right in their faces.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You want to get onto people and get stuck in, and it's not. I think some people. I think Carl, one of you said Wimbledon-esque, or Marcus maybe earlier. Yeah. But it's like actually it's more than that because it's not just about getting in rough and tumble on players. There's clearly the patience. Keeping your shape. Staying organised, Steve, and when we had those opportunities, and that's going to be so important because possession-wise, 70% to Liverpool again. So it's important that when we get those opportunities, we absolutely take them. So, what do you think the score will be then on Wednesday night, Steve?
I've gone for a 2-0 win. Well, In the predictor league, I'm joint top.
Oh, hang
Yeah.
on. I need to get
I got 2-1 against West
out.
Brom. West Brom, I got right 2-1. But yesterday, I did say Argo would lose 4-1.
Oh.
How wrong was I?
You weren't alone there, Steve, to be fair.
No. I got it right for once, though, which is rare for me. So, Carl, I'll go from bottom up to top. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Boateng, you got Mumba, could be a consideration. I mean, I'm not aware. Obviously, Pleggy went off with a little bit of a knock. I don't know if there is any injury updates. But what are you thinking for Wednesday night?
It's not a bad shout from Steve. Houghton and Boateng, that could be that could work. It gives Randall a little break as well. So we've got a lot of games coming up, so it will be interesting to see those two together. Hopefully Pleggy will be fit. Again, I don't think it's going to be loads of goals. I think another 1-0 might do it again, but I think another clean sheet and maybe in just one or two goals we'll take the 3 points.
Yeah, I think I think so. It's definitely, I think, the depth of squad, Marcus. The fact that we've now got more options and we've got players back from injury. Tijani, actually, we didn't touch upon, but I will do now as I come to you. I wasn't overly impressed. I know Gavin will give his piece in a second as well. But what are you thinking on Wednesday night?
Well, like you said with Tijani, I think that Hardie should have buried it. And I don't know if he's up to it, but the one good thing is what we needed was Hardie back on form because he goes on these spells. So I'm expecting a 2-0 victory for us. With Houghton called back in. We'll probably Mumba back in because Sarno looks totally shattered. If Plaggy's not fit, probably Paulson in. So we have got the injuries coming back. We have got a bit of a squad depth now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, look, the whole Tijani thing, we've not seen much of him because of that long-term injury. We were talking about him in the WhatsApp group. I sort of said, didn't overly impress me, but we were sort of sitting back a bit more at that stage. Liverpool had got a bit more pressure on us, so naturally that would happen. But, Gavin, you said to me, you got to give him time, and there is an element of that. I don't know, just something... But hopefully he proves me wrong.
The guy's had 35, 40 minutes of football since September. He's been out for a long time. I don't think he's been fit for more than a month since July because he had an injury and came back, and then he had an injury and then he came back, and then he's off again. I mean, even Houghton's turned around in the last couple of weeks and said, I'm not winning a match fit yet. Even Hardie said, I'm not match fit.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I think the guy's going to need 4 or 5 games, increasing his minutes on the pitch to get anywhere near. I saw enough in the game at home to Luton to think in that 30 minutes, there's a good striker there. He's agile, who knows where the net is and can move off the ball. He's not just a statue, big lump that you fire it up to. I think he's got some intelligent running. Can he put it in the back of the net? We don't know yet. He hasn't done it.
Yeah.
I think he did it in pre-season, didn't he, against the African side?
Oh, yeah.
In the 40-degree heat on the Dust Bowl, but it might have been a tennis court. But can he do it? Only time will tell. I do not know. Has he got the capability? I would probably say so. Does he fit our shape now and what we're doing? Absolutely. And I think we've got to give the guy every chance. Having said that, we've got Bundu, we've got Obafemi, we've got Hardie and him, who can all play in that 1-9 role or just off. And I think what we'll see moving forward is that front three will just become very fluid. As it has been. And if you obviously can include Al-Hajj, Beidou and Callum Wright into that mix as well, of that sort of front three mix. So we have a riches or abundance in that area of the field. And it's, thankfully up to someone with a far higher pay grade in this scenario in the coaching team at Argo, led by Muslic, to work that out and unpick that lock. But at the moment, for a team that we can't score. Well, Hardie scored now 3 in 2. If you include the one up in Sunderland, 4 in 3. He ain't doing too badly, thank you very much. Bundu's playing out the skin. I don't see us having much of a problem. The one thing, I think it was Steve, we were having a chat, weren't we, in the week about the only sort of frustration, I suppose, is the midfield not getting forward and beyond the 9 to score goals on their own. And I think that's the only thing I would say that is a little bit disappointing, is that JB scored 1, isn't he? Randall scored 1, which was a massive deflected free kick at Derby. I think it went at right angles. It was like a Shane Warne leg spinner.
That's my concern. That is
leg break
for our midfield.
Concern. You're right. I think if you look at the best sides, those midfield players, they give a ball and they run beyond the striker and get in on goal. And maybe now if we got Houghton and Boateng who are happily to sit and defend that back 3, the other guys can have the license to push on beyond the 10s and beyond the strikers to get forward. And of course, our set piece coach who's just arrived today, which I don't think
just about to bring up next. Yeah.
Maybe that will give the midfielders, certainly Boateng and JB, who are both massive lumps again. And I think our height test now is fantastic. Moving forward, give an option to get more goals in midfield. But Steve, I'm with you. We can't just rely on a front 3 to score all the goals, because that's where we are. But just going back to Millwall, Mike, if I may, they play 4-2-3-1 normally. There's a small matter of Luke Cundle normally playing in that front, that 3 of the 1 up top.
Yeah, scored for them the other day.
In his first game at the back post, which was very well taken. They aren't the Millwall of old that lump it. I think we're probably more Millwall now in terms of our style of play than they are, which is going to be interesting. And can we go and out Millwall? That would just be fun. It'd be like out Wycoming Wycombe. When we were down the leagues, that'd be lovely. But they've got some good players, haven't they? They really have got some good players. They've got a good tight back 4. Tanganga at the heart of defence, who seems to run through brick walls. Bangura Williams, I think, in sort of middle of those front 3. Ivanovic up front, who's scored goals and looks threatening. So they're a decent side, and they're not going to come down here. I mean, if you look at their last few games, they're unbeaten in 5. Beaten Leeds at the weekend, although it was Leeds B team. You could say
number 10 changes.
Beat QPR, beat Pompey, beat Luton, and drew with Cardiff.
So I think, Gavin, what's interesting for that is we tend to typically play well against the better sides. I know it's a different music setup now to what we've seen even under Rooney or Nance and that, but there's a real good chat. They'll want to come at us thinking, they'll get the blip, but then they've also gone through to the next round. So there's going to be that situation with the cup games. But what do you think scoreline then we can get out of that one?
I'm hoping we don't concede, but I think we'll win 2-1. The big thing for me, and I said it on the pod after the West Brom game, is the C word again, isn't it? Consistency.
Yeah.
Now, it's easy, isn't it, to get up against Liverpool at home when you've got 16,500 Janners screaming at you for 90 or 100 minutes. Can you do it on a cold, wet night at Home Park against Millwall? That's the thing for me. And I know it's really refreshing. All the interviews after the game, every player said, we've had a great day. We're now concentrating on Wednesday. Now, whether they've been told to say that by the presser, the press brigade, or whether they definitely mean it, it looks like they all had a couple of beers last night, because it looked like Ryan Hardie was on the barbecuing with a Guinness in his hand. Fair play, but they'll be in this morning, won't they? At it hard. Match day -2, match day -1 tomorrow. The side that they pick, who knows?
I like how you're talking like music there. -1, -2.
I'm the game now, aren't I?
Yeah.
But
it's okay. Gavin. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, they are.
But it's okay.
Tomorrow they'll be on it. They'll be at it. With a view, and I suppose the great thing is, guys, we're at home, right?
Yeah, it's a sign of life, Gavin. It's a sign of life.
Yeah.
If we had to travel to Middlesbrough tomorrow on Wednesday, there would have been no preparation for this game. It'd have been come in today, do a bit of rehab, video of the opposition, get on a coach, get on there and bugger off up there and try and get 20 minutes of training for a game.
To be fair, Gavin, we would have got it completely wrong if we'd have gone up to Middlesbrough. But I mean, it's
you know what I mean. If we're lucky, we're at home. We've got 3.
I think that's huge.
Days.
Yeah, I mean, they played on the Saturday, against a heavy change lead side. We know where their focus lies. And that is our advantage. So they have the advantage of they had the day extra rest, but we've got the game at home, and being a midweek one, no one wants to come down. The exciting news, just as Gavin touched upon it, sorry, Gavin, I'm just going to bring up the new set piece coach that was announced not long before we went live. So for everybody that hasn't seen that yet. So I'll just read the statement that's come out today. So Argyle have appointed Hubert Auer as a set-piece coach until the end of the season. Born in Austria, Auer is a former professional goalkeeper and has also spent time as a goalkeeping coach. He joins new head coach Miron Muslic's staff for the rest of the season, supporting the work of assistant head coach Adin Osman Basic, first team coaches Eddie Lattimore and Kevin Nanskeville, and obviously goalkeeping coach Daryl Flavhaven. Yeah, thank you. Muslich is delighted to bring such a specialist position to the Argyle coaching staff and commented, set pieces have become a really important part of the game in the past few years. I am really happy to bring Hubert into focus specifically on improving our set pieces from both an attacking and a defending point of view. We are all aware we have not scored enough goals from set pieces this season, and we hope to change that with Hubert's input and expertise. So he wants to welcome him to Argyle, and what an introduction. You were obviously probably there, I'd imagine, yesterday. We look forward to seeing his influence. I mean, Marcus, sort of just coming to you, the set pieces have been a massive weakness for us. But as I alluded to earlier, we've got some big, strong players now with height and obviously strength. And also what I thought was interesting yesterday, and now I can't remember who took all the first half ones, but Randall stepped up for a corner in the second half, and it was our worst corner of the game. And obviously, Pukac has been taking the bulk of them. And so we've got a really, really good corner taker. Also, a couple of decent long throwers with Plaguey and that. This is an exciting appointment, and an appointment that we've needed for a long time.
Well, we've been calling out for it for ages because we haven't had one for a long, long time. So, but we haven't scored enough goals from corners or set pieces, free kicks, or anything. So it's something that needs to change. When you got that sort of height, that aggression, then we should be scoring goals.
Yeah. I think things. I hate to use expression like ducks in a row, sort of things are falling into place. Sorry, but Carl, that to get that appointment before the FA Cup draw after an incredible historic win, you just think, well, actually now there's a few more things that hopefully opposition will have to worry about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it completely came out of the blue. I wasn't expecting any more staff to come in until probably the summer. So it's nice we've got another one over the line, and probably I think that's probably it now for backroom staff. I can't see us bringing in anyone else. I mean, we were talking about a psychology coach, weren't we, a few months ago regarding the away form.
But Muslich is the best psychology coach.
He's a psychologist we need to.
But I reckon that's going to change now because the mentality's changed. So hopefully, obviously, with the performance at Sunderland and the away win, have you won away this season? Who was it again? Have you won away this season?
Argyle?
Yeah.
It's called Brentford.
Brentford.
Sorry.
We only beat Premier League sides away.
Yeah, exactly. So that bodes well for Man City, doesn't it? But
We've won more Premier League games than Championship games.
That's the answer then, isn't it?
Year, yeah.
But yeah, I think with Muslic's style and his mentality, I think hopefully we'll see some results on the road soon. But yeah, we've been calling out for a set piece coach as well, haven't we? Because our set pieces aren't traditionally great. I mean, we've got a great corner taker in Pukac, and with the height we've got in the team now, we should be taking advantage of that. And with a lot of games in this league are kind of set on, taking on set pieces. So if we can get a few of those over the line in some games, that'll be decent going forward.
Well, one thing I was saying, Mike, sorry,
that's right.
We're not letting the grass grow under our feet, are we? Right? Because everyone could have gone, we're in the FA Cup, we've done this, we've beat Liverpool. Clearly, behind the scenes, they're like one of my phrases, straining every sinew, right? No stone unturned. We all on cloud nine because we've just beaten Liverpool, and they've gone, and now we've got a set piece coach. So, if they, I know the management and the board and everything else have been criticised, rightly or wrongly, in the past about not backing the management team, not having the right tools around them to get the results, and blah blah blah. Well, there's no excuses now. It's like give the guys the tools to do the job. Then there's only one person to blame, aren't there? That's the people who are doing the job. If you don't give the tools, then it's
two questions on this, really. One is he actually a set piece coach or actually a goalkeeper coach?
No.
that's going to be a set piece coach
now, but he started off as a goalkeeper, then a goalkeeping coach, then a set piece coach.
And the second thing is, why is it only like a 6-month contract?
Marcus, do you know what? I think at the end of the day, it could be down to just commitment. It could be down to available funds. You know, maybe we want to see and he wants to see where we are at the end of the season. I think the positive thing is for all we know, because we, as I always point out to people, we don't really know what goes in behind the closed doors. We all like to assume and think we know, but it could well be that Muslich has had to sort of fight to get this guy in, and 6 months has been given the time to sort of prove it. But I think it's just great that we've got someone in, and if we can see some sort of turn of form in our set pieces, that could be massive for us to survive.
They've got to be there to add value, haven't they? If we don't see the set pieces improve, you've kind of wasted your money on a resource. So you'd expect that Miron is not going to be appointing someone to fill a hole and keep idiots like us quiet for 5 minutes on socials. He's there to do a job, and I would hope that with the height and the resource we have, with Katic and Maxi in particular, who seem to be ferocious headers of the ball, and Tajani actually from his diving header on Saturday, he's there to make sure that those three people in particular are weapons moving forward up in the opposition box.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So sort of going to close out now, it's great to feel a bit of calm and, sort of satisfaction, and, we'll still be all going to bed and just dreaming of the moments in that game and the experience. And, whether you were there or not, I think the important thing right now is what we had over these last 2 games at home is that sort of home park, real mentality from the crowd. Fortress home park, we desperately needed to get that back. There was no edginess in the crowd yesterday. Equally again, against West Brom, like I felt in previous games where we got defeated heavily. I think that's massive for us to now build on that. I think all the fans see where Muslich is taking it, where Hallett and Parkinson's, as I said earlier, decision, with Muslich is going. I think, the appointment we just mentioned just now, the new signings that we've got, we still want to see the best out of Beidou yet, Tajani, all those that have, are waiting to get their moments. And I think, if we can really turn that into a fortress again on Wednesday, it's massive that we start, getting these wins at home. I'm more than confident now when we go away that we've got a chance to grab a point or maybe even nick 3. So, look, it's just what a magical, memorable day for everybody yesterday. And I think, it's just,
What I do wonderful. Love is seeing Muslich after full time kind of step back and just let the players take all the plaudits. He's not one up there giving it fist bumps kind of in front of the players. He wants them to kind of get their plaudits first before he then kind of steps in and then gets the awards. But he was stood there yesterday taking like photos on his phone, and just great. I'm sure that time will come when he'll take more centre stage, but I just love how he kind of sits back and just
he's clearly read leaders eat last.
Yeah,
he's a hero maker, not a hero, which is what I love. Let the players do the talking.
Speaking of heroes, actually I was listening to Pod for Pilgrims or Pilgrims podcast, whatever you want to call it, this morning, and actually they brought this up, and I just clicked because I'm just looking at my notes before I end off. Obviously, we had that great result by the youth under 18s the other day, and also the women's youth team as well, with a fantastic win. There was a bit of a clip that Argyle shared of them, watching the dying minutes on the coach on the way back. Sort of positivity breeds, and I think sort of the fact that we're seeing now those guys get on and do really well into their next rounds is just something that actually when they brought that up on their pod, I thought that's a fair shout, and we need to do the same.
And the women won as well yesterday away from home.
That's what I mean. So you had the lads and the women.
So all teams are winning, which it breeds a habit. Before we go, just talking about Spotlight. Would you ever thought that Liam Gallagher would tweet Plymouth, 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 Plymouth?
I think
as you were.
If you look at that tweet, I think it's from 2017.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is. Fuck, it is as well.
Hey,
just been retweeted.
There's no harm in regurgitating those tweets.
There is not, no. I did notice that earlier though, Gav. I thought exactly the same. Then I realised I was 2017 underneath.
Wow. Well, he might regurgitate it again in a minute. Now we obviously played them, have we? Some stage in 2017.
Well, possibly then.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, look, on that note, we will see him at the Etihad when the mighty Green Army.
He probably did a gig down here at the Pavilions. I'd probably say.
Probably. Yeah.
So
unless he was talking about Liverpool in 2017.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course he was. Well done. Great shout.
Yeah.
We were all Plymouth, weren't they? The whole of Manchester was Plymouth. Yeah.
So look, everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it's not our normal slot on a Sunday because of the game and obviously getting home from work. I've still got my work shirt on. I threw my football shirt over the top of it to get ready for this tonight. Gavin, Marcus, Carl and Steve is first live with us on here tonight as well. It's good to have you on. Andy, just to add, before I forget, has got commitments on a Monday night, which is why he's missing tonight. So I know he'll be hating that, and he's literally done every single live. We're up to 30, I think 2 by the time I put this on Acast. So so he's it's a shame that he couldn't join us tonight after that brilliant win. So shout out to you, Andy, to our TikTok audience, which we've managed to connect up and stream to tonight, where we all started originally as a Block 9 podcast. Not getting any comments coming through, so from that platform, I know there's been some put on there, so we haven't been able to read them out. Apologies for that, but it's good to be able to stream live back on there. Brilliant football community on TikTok. But anyway, gents, my score, just to add, on Wednesday night, I'm going to go 2-0, the same as what Steve and Marcus are going with. I think we're just too bloody solid and resilient to concede at the moment, certainly with that back lineup and also Hazard in goal. So yeah, look, enjoy the rest of your night, gents, and then we will let's see what Wednesday brings us. But other than that, keep it green, folks.
See you later.